validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. Whoa. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we're talking about this, that, and everything in between. And we have made it to our Sunday night questions and comments on the show. So today we're going to be going through a lot of questions. We're going to be answering a lot of comments, and we're going to be trying to cover all of the things that you guys want to cover um, throughout tonight's show. What we also have coming up tomorrow, because the shutdown is still there, government's still not doing nothing. We haven't seen any budgets. So we're going to be talking about ways for us to survive the shutdown so that we can benefit from the shutdown when the shutdown starts bouncing back in the stock market. Then we're going to be talking about other ways we can make money while we're trying to make money for us. And then we're going to be dealing with another country that we can invest in. So I'm going to be putting that up later tonight, early tomorrow, so that we have our Wednesday night show. Probably put up this Wednesday and next Wednesday so that we can start working on getting all of next week set up. Now, if you've been following the show so far, you've noticed that I have covered most of the next 7 days, all the way up to next week's Sunday. And got everything set up for it so you can hit the notification buttons for it. And then we're working on the week after. So as we start crushing the week after's show, you'll start seeing that we will have all the way through the following weeks, up to, probably almost 14 days. You'll see up there right now, trying to prepare for a lot of moving and shaking outside of the live so that the show still goes live reasonably on time every night of the week, even if I am indisposed for some reason. Because we're dealing with a lot of uncertainty coming up in the next 2 weeks. So since I don't know where I'm going to be at and what I'm going to be doing, I'm trying to make sure that you guys get what y'all come for on a regular basis. Now, um, we have. I was supposed to do this. Actually, I'm gonna have to do it again because first 15 minutes of the show isn't there after we do the post live. But we have this book that we're going to be talking about, which is the uh, bodaciously, totally true and awesome stories from Chris Orcutt. We're going to be talking about that uh, later in tonight's show. Gonna do like a little soundbite for him, and then we're also going to tag him in. We're going to be making a post live show for him tomorrow. We're going to be tagging him on that, and I want to talk about how he spent quite a long time putting this book together, hand typing it, old school way to get it in there. High school in the '80s, so he would have been like uh, in my father's era, but high school in the '80s would have been what he would have been going through, and it's a very good read. Almost 400 pages worth of good reads, close to chapter 7 right now. Gonna be, like I said, giving you guys a little bit of a soundbite. So it's a good book to pick up, and he actually has a 9 book series, so it carries forward a long distance. So I strongly recommend that you pick this book up because it's a medium sized read, but it's definitely very refreshing and very entertaining. So, I gave him my word that I'll go ahead and give him a shout out, and we're gonna be doing that. So give me if I remember to do it because I got to do it with like I want to say like 20 minutes into the show. That way it's at the first 5 minutes of the show, but we're gonna squeeze it in somewhere. Either way, I want you guys to make sure that you take the opportunity to like and subscribe. While we maintain the mantra that we do not let the sun rise without going live, we don't always start on time. So we ask you guys to hit that notification button to remind you that we are here so that you can go live when we go live and get the stuff that happens at the top of the hour. So I want to see that happen for you guys because I do have a lot more information at the top of the hour, even though it is chock full of facts and information throughout the hour. I want to make sure that any new things that come up that you guys have that information uh, going off. So make sure that you take that information in. Remember that we are not a red pill, blue pill, black pill podcast. So while I give you my observations, we are about a 61% male driven podcast from the male perspective. So, ladies, don't take offense if you can. Um, if the shoe fits, change or wear it proudly. It's the only two things I can give you advice on that situation. However, some of the stuff we're going to be covering today, questions and comments, are going to lead me to come from both a male and female perspective, where you ladies have the ability to rationalize, well, not rationalize, but interpret things differently than what men rationalize. And that would lead to the observations that I have. Now, for you ladies who have an opinion that you'd like to share, feel free to leave it in the comment section. Uh, I respond to all inquiries, even if you don't agree. I just ask that you keep it appropriate because we do have some youngins that come in here that are not quite at the age of 18, and I don't want to corrupt their sponge minds with our adult content. So, with that being said, we're going to tiptoe into it, and we're going to get started with the first one.
Genuinely, how do I find love? I'm a 30-year-old guy. I've been in one relationship in my whole life. I want to be in love. I want to find somebody who likes the same things as me. I want to plan trips, go to concerts, museums. I want to do the whole fall pumpkin patch thing. I want to be able to go on dates, have cuddle nights in, adopt pets with some of them, and create a household, but it feels impossible. I can sometimes be a little awkward. I'm not really ugly, but not exactly attractive either. However, I have had people tell me I am, so I would say I could be someone's type. Dating apps go absolutely nowhere 99% of the time. People who it feels like I've clicked with in the past weren't really interested. How do I find the person who fits me and wants me?
Well, ironically, what men have been doing lately is stop trying, um, which women will feel like it's counterproductive, but you have to understand the dynamic. The desperation of wanting someone is observed, it resonates with them. So they can tell that you're thirsty for companionship. And some women might take advantage of that because the engagements that they have with you is at your expense. So you might have women that think that you are a good friend and they can hang out with you, you're sociable, and the engagements that they have, even if it's moderate to low cost engagements, the whole engagement is on you. So a night on the town for free for some women is a benefit in and of itself, even if they're not interested in committing to you. Uh, which is probably why you had people in the past that you were chill with, you could go out and have a good time with, but they did not commit because they weren't really interested in you. They were interested in what you were doing for them. Now, you said that there were certain traits and characteristics that you were looking for in a woman that were around having shared hobbies. You even said something about adopting a pet together. I would be honest with you. If you're interested in those types of people, your best bet would be to volunteer at animal shelters and um, find ways to get involved publicly with the hobbies that you enjoy so that you could hopefully um, come into contact with somebody who has the similar hobbies that you have where y'all could do things together. Now, that's it's not a guarantee, but you're more likely to be successful with finding someone as a friend, as a person to share the hobby with, and then build that up to a relationship instead of trying to find the relationship and hoping that that relationship will include shared hobbies. We rush into marriage these days, and since we rush into marriage these days, we skip the friendship phase where you're getting to know each other to be sure that you want to commit to each other to become exclusive in a relationship. And since we skip that phase, we do not manifest the type of friendship that we should have. Our goal is to have that lifelong companion, but we do not have the understanding that we have the rest of our life to lock that down. We want to have it now where it's already been here for the last decade. But then if we look at the last decade, we could observe that we may not have been in the right place for it at that time. So even if the right person would have been there, we probably would have had chaotic situations that would lead to chaotic confrontations, which would have led to a divorce. So if you're in your 30s and going into your 40s and you have not found that right person, that's fine. You want to make yourself a lot more sociable, but not at your own financial expense, where they're only at this location with you performing this event because you're willing to pay for it. They must be at this event because that's what they wanted to do, and you just so happen to be going as well. This is also a good advice for men that are going on dates here in 2025. Instead of trying to find a date location to bring the girl that agreed to go on a date with you, it is more effective for you to make plans in your life to go places and do things. And then you invite the other person to accompany you. If they don't show up, you don't care. So, take for example, like Ruby Tuesdays or something like that. You're going to reserve a table for two for Ruby Tuesdays or TGI Fridays on a Friday. That's what you do. You go to Ruby Tuesdays, you go to TGI Fridays, you go to Texas Cattlemen, and you get you a nice bite to eat. That's not necessarily your stomping grounds, but when you want to go out and have a good night and eat a good meal, that's the places that you would go, right? So you schedule those reservations. Leave it open for a +1. If you're socializing in life and you come across a lady that you might be wanting to get to know a little bit better, you let her know, hey, I was going to uh go to such and such for dinner this week. You should accompany me. Because you were already going, the invitation for her to attend, especially since it's on you, is not likely to be rejected. But what say you she's one of those push pull kind of girls where she agrees to go on a date with you just to get you out of her face, but then doesn't show up? Well, you were going to go anyway, so it doesn't matter. And now, even if she says no the first time, it's like, all right, just keep it pushing. It'll be almost like those gold digger videos. But if you look at those gold digger videos, whether or not some people say they're staged or not, the fact is that the guy is an area of vicinity away from the car or SUV or expensive vehicle. The girl walks past the guy on foot and immediately shuts him down, not giving him an opportunity to express what kind of person he is. And then he has to pressure the situation enough to convince her to get to know him. And then they're tolerate him, but they're not interested in a romantic engagement or the first date or whatever. And then they just like, okay, whatever. And then when she looks back, because within 3 seconds of the car, she looks back and sees him making his way to an expensive vehicle, and then they come doubling back. Take away the gold digger perspective of the situation. If you walk up to a female and you're trying to communicate that you're interested in getting to know her better and she's not interested, you should not put that much effort into convincing her to be interested. You are an interesting person. Just because the person that you're talking to is not interested in the things that you're interested in does not mean that you're not a highly interesting person. It is just that you are wasting your efforts on the wrong person. So if you plan your dates based off of the things that you like and the things that you want to do, exercise your rights to the fullest. If she wants to join, she can, and if she can't, oh well. But if she follows up with a response, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get to go this time, something came up. Cool. I had a blast. I ate this, I ate that. So and so came over, we drank this, we had a blast. It was a great night. Next time I plan on going to such and such restaurant. If you're available, let me know. So you're showing her that you don't give a shit if she comes or not. When plans are not being made exclusively to her scenario, they're gonna want to see like what you got going on that you be going places by yourself, enjoying life. That's when they start being nosy, trying to inspect or gadget the situation. And you might find the right one because apparently you gotta shun them a little bit in order to get them to recognize you. It's weird, but some women, I don't know. But I also believe that women should be approaching men in modern 2025 because women have started trying to become alpha boss ladies. Y'all have become the exact man that you're looking for. And then you want the men to be better than that. So the type of men that you want is not good enough for you because you have already become that type of man. And now you want that man, the next man that you find, to be better than that. So you're not even looking for your ideal man. You're looking for a man that is above your ideal man because you became your ideal man. That's just ridiculous. Let's move on to the next one.
My husband texted me this. Look, I ain't saying we are getting divorced, and I'm not saying we aren't, but if we do, I'm fighting to see my kid, even if it means court. That's what he texted me, and I told my mom. She said he's emotionally manipulating me, but I don't know. I'm 30 weeks pregnant, and he's been making my life miserable, and I've thought of divorce, but he's the only one who keeps bringing it up. The other night we were walking, and we passed a cute house with lights and pumpkins, and I asked him if we were going to do that to our house one day, and he said, "Why are you making future plans? You don't even know if we're going to be together." And that really hurt, but it also kind of shows me he's manipulating me, maybe. I don't know. I need y'all's advice. Is it manipulation?
No, it's not manipulation. You said it yourself. You contemplated getting a divorce. Your behavior towards him shows him that you are not emotionally invested in this relationship anymore. You have made it clear through your body language that while you're pregnant with his child, you're considering divorcing him probably before the child is born. So yeah, until you decide to thoroughly 100% commit to this situation, he gonna keep talking like that because he don't know which day out the week you gonna serve him with some divorce papers. Truth is, if you want, you're saying that he's being manipulative. He's okay. He's being immature, but he's not being manipulative. If you want this behavior to change, you got to change the way you treat him. Show him that he is the most important person in your life next to that child. Show him that all of his efforts are valid. Show him that you appreciate him hanging in there dealing with your mood swings during the marriage, during the pregnancy. Because women be saying a lot of things that they don't mean and then they forget the stuff that they didn't mean. But the man don't forget it because it's embedded in his core that you have destroyed him yet again. Okay. Now you water off the back because your feelings didn't get hurt with what you said to him or what you said about him. His feelings got hurt. So during your pregnancy, during most women's pregnancies, women are not nice. So when you recognize that your marriage is on the rocks and your emotional instability because of your pregnancy is partially to blame, not 100% to blame, you have some making up to do. And until you do, he gonna be bitter. Plural. He said, "Who's the daddies?" Plural. It is what it is. You're gonna have to do a DNA test, and DNA test like $250 to $300 at the hospital the day the child is born. I got to know it's mine before I walk out the hospital. I ain't signing shit. I ain't signing shit. Let's see what the next one got going on.
I am 30 years old, just got a hey
Oh
girl
boy.
text, and been told my husband, who is 31, has been cheating on me 2 weeks after our marriage. I'm devastated. What am I even supposed to do? I'm out of town and got a follow request both on FB and Instagram from a girl. I get a few of these regularly, but with that one I somehow had some weird gut feeling and started to shake. Instead of accepting her request, I messaged her if we know each other, to which she replied, we don't, and she gets it might be awkward, but she would like to discuss something with me in person ASAP. Since I'm out of town and she is a complete stranger, I said let's discuss online, and she said it's about my husband. I immediately knew that the worst is coming. She said that he is cheating on me and I deserve better. Said that it's not continuing anymore as he broke up with her today.
Mm.
However, she told me it started a few months ago when they met online at first and then met in person. She knew he was married, he told her. She was asking why is he cheating and why he got married in the place, to which he replied that he felt pressure from the others. We've kind of been together for 10 years when he proposed. And that marriage is just a big, expensive party and nothing more than a piece of paper. Then I asked her why they broke up then, and she told me because he is basically happy in our relationship and he doesn't want to risk it anymore. She said he was visiting her at her place when I was coming late from work and even had sleepovers when I was out of town. I told her not to tell him that I know, and I'm about to confront him in person once I'm back home. We've been married for 5 months. He basically started to cheat right after, still telling
Mm-hmm.
me loves me, etc. I
He
feel
does.
so betrayed. I thought I found my person and now it's all
He
gone,
did.
and I feel like I'm
It's
getting
not.
back to square one in life. I
You're
told him I
not.
want to start a family next year. I have no idea what to do after I tell him I know everything. I can't even cry. Just have this hollow in my chest and feeling numbness. I also have no idea why she told me now and not
He
sooner.
said it was.
Edit as I'm not sure if you can find this comment. Thanks everyone for your comments, support, and kind words. This is my first post, so I'm not even sure if I should add this as an edit part or if you're going to see this comment either way. I
Yeah,
was
you're gonna
wide
see it.
awake whole night, reading everything. chatting with some of you in DMs. I already had a scheduled message for her saying that I was thinking of you told me yesterday, and the only thing I'm missing in all this is an evidence, as it's a big accusation and words against words. However, I decided not to send it yet. Firstly, at the moment, I'm not able to handle seeing any proof/evidence with my own eyes. I just can't face this yet, and I don't want to know detail. I never wanted her to reach out to me and throw her burden on me instead of carrying it herself. Secondly, I know my husband, to some point at least. Believe it or not he is kinda sensitive and caring person. I know once I drop it even without evidence, he ain't gonna gaslight me and he will admit. If he would be saying it's not true, then I will demand to show me his stuff or I reach out to her. But talking to her brings me anger and anxiety at this point. He will be asking me how my weekend at my parents' was. I will tell him I met some childhood friends and actually made a new friend, and that he wouldn't believe what happened to her. She found a married guy she was supposed to spend her weekend with when his wife was traveling, but he broke up with her instead. So she decided to tell his wife. Plot twist, you're the guy, I'm the wife, and my friend is name of the girl who reached out to me. Then I will wait for him to process, and I'll start to have a conversation. We know each other since my 16 and his 17. I considered this man my best friend. I was just rereading the vow he wrote me and thinking of past few months how there was nothing wrong, basically. He didn't give me any bigger clue to worry about anything. He even bought me flowers last week, just like that. I don't know what I'll do yet. It's also up to him and how he approaches this whole situation. I know that to majority of you, I will look like a naive and stupid, not learning my lesson. But for me, the marriage is something so sacred and something I wanted with him since the day one that is difficult for me to let it go without trying any counseling. Maybe the end is inevitable and I'm just prolonging something that will come, but I can't see myself making any decision in this state of mind. Once again, thank you everyone. You are such a great people, and I'm sorry if you had to go through something like that yourself. No one deserves this kind of betrayal. I will let you know how it went once I talk to him tomorrow evening. So far, I'm playing everything is okay card, so he has no suspicions.
My boyfriend.
Hold on. Yeah, she gonna bait him. So she already negative, plotting against this man. But the only smart thing she said was that she wasn't gonna give up on the marriage without going to counseling. If she's gonna work on a marriage by going to counseling, instead of her trying to figure out which way she catches him in a lie, because this is usually what women do. They will come to you with questions about a situation that they believe or know that they know everything about. Then they're going to come and talk to you about it to see if you're going to tell them the truth. Why? If you know the truth, why are you asking me what the truth is? Now, we've discussed before, men can have physical interactions with other women because it's about the aspect of getting laid. There's no emotional attachment in that particular activity. The emotional attachment that the man has to the woman, to his wife, does not have to have anything to do with the physical connection that he has with another woman. However, the man said that he was pressured into the marriage because while they have been dating for 10 years or longer, they've only been married for 5 months. The negative experiences that he was feeling would have led him to another woman that would give him the validation he needs without the negative pressure. His wife feels like there's nothing wrong because she is happy with the situation that she is in with him, but he is not happy in the situation that he is in with her, and she expects him to be happy without her fixing his dissatisfaction. And because she didn't, he was receiving what he was missing from his marriage from the girl on the side. Somewhere along the line, his guilt took over and decided he was going to try to work it out with his wife. Now, wife recognizing that there was a problem in a relationship that was large enough to lead to an affair. Wife should go to counseling, get some communication skills improving in the relationship, and then figure the situation out. Not try to catch the guy in a lie, not set the guy up, not try to summa cum laude the situation and try to because all that's gonna do is lead y'all into a slap down, drag out argument because he didn't say what you wanted him to say the way you wanted him to say it. You're not even really looking for an apology. You're just looking for him to accept guilt. And then if he doesn't, then you're gonna break up with him. You're gonna separate. You're gonna go stay by your grandma's house until he admits what he did. One of the things I noticed is that the woman didn't mind smashing the wife's husband until the woman got dropped by the husband. So bitter, if she can't have him, no one can. The girlfriend who was discarded like trash is now going to destroy the man's marriage because she's bitter that he chose his wife over the girl on the side. Now, I'm not condoning the cheating, but the wife need to recognize what the hell just happened. Whatever the 10 years that you put into the friendship before the 5 year marriage or 5 months, think about how this woman is going to destroy all of what you built with this man because he left her for you. Now, he shouldn't have been with her in the first place, but he left her for you. And she's trying to mess up your spot. And you're going to help her. Think about the idiocracy that's happening there. Yes, nobody wants to know that their partner is cheating on them. But nobody wants to be the fool in the dark where the society knows that your partner is not loyal, but you don't. So the truth of the matter is that you would prefer that if you found out the truth, that you find an adult way to address it for rectification, for fixing the problem, not just to cause conflict. Like Michael's saying, she looking for a fight, bruh. She looking for a reason to do a mic drop scenario and either put him in a doghouse where she could treat him like garbage for another next 5 years because he cheated on her one time or a series of times with one person. And, that's not going to be a healthy marriage. Or, or she's going to use that as an excuse to get into a fight with him and then break up with him. Because as long as she knows what he did and he doesn't know that she knows, she can sandbag this situation. And then the first time they get in an argument that she does not have ground to win, instead of negotiating, she will throw up the fact that he cheated on her and the girl caught him. That's what she'll do. Michael said cheaper to pick up flowers from the cemetery for your dates. That is true. All right, let's look at the next one.
It is making me feel bad for needing space and to find who I am and work on my mental health. I have been having issues lately and I am living with my grandma for 3 weeks. His mom who we lived with asked where I was and he joked saying I told her that you don't love me anymore and left me, which is kinda true. He asked me about my therapy session. I have only had 2. I told him my mental health is still crap and what's wrong with me still. He responded saying what's crappy about it then? Can't fix something if you don't define it. He does message me to check my progress and ask how I am and has asked me if I want to come home yet.
Okay, so yet again, we got another one. I don't know what happened this week. You women is off the chain. I guess it's October. Um, so you got a man, he waiting on you to commit. You're not committing. You pushing him away. Then he cracked a joke that he told his mama that you don't love him no more because you said that's kind of true. You don't love him no more. You have emotionally withdrawn from your marriage, your relationship, which is what women typically do before the women pack up and leave. Usually 3 to 6 months before a woman is going to break up with a man. And I'm saying it like this not because I'm bitter about women. I'm saying this because statistically, 70 to 90% of women, where 70% of uneducated women, 90% of educated women leave their men. Those women leave the relationship after they have emotionally withdrawn from the relationship because women are emotional and men are physical. So a man can walk out of his relationship because he is not getting the physical connection that he needs from his woman. A woman will walk away from the relationship because she has established a physical connection with someone else, or she has detached her physical connection, her emotional connection with you. So she can have an emotional connection with someone else, and that will cause her to leave, or she will have no emotional connection with you, and that will cause her to leave. And women typically don't feel comfortable with sleeping with men that they don't have an emotional connection with. Some. Now, recognizing that she ain't feeling it no more, he's still sticking around trying to see if she's going to get through the therapy as she needs. For me, if I was him, I wouldn't talk to her no more. I wait till she reach out to me, because if you done backed out of the relationship, for me to continue to reach out to you, how you doing, what's going on with your treatment, are you doing okay, is applying more pressure to your situation. And if you don't want to be involved in this, me continuously reaching out to you is going to make you feel like you're being forced to be involved in this. Me, I would stop talking to you. I'll wait till you call me. If you call me, be like, man, I ain't heard from you in 3 weeks. That's because you ain't picked up the phone in 3 weeks. If you would have shot me a text message, sent me a postcard or something, I'd have sent you a message back. But if you said you needed some Britney Spears space, oops, I did it again. You trying to get you some rehab, baby. Get you rehab. I'll come pick you up when you get out. Put some money on your canteen. Add some minutes to your band so you can call me collect. We'll figure something out. But in the meantime, I got shit to do, because no man should be sitting there putting their life on hold for a woman that's not certain. You put your life on hold for chilling. You put your life on hold for certainty. But you don't put your life on hold for a what if. Because what if I move on? Shit. Think about that part. All right, let's check the next one. Did I hit the button? No, I didn't.
Literally, what do I do? Okay, so, I got broken up with him about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'm still heartbroken over it. This person
Mm.
was the love of my life, and as of now, there is still a way to get them back. One of the big reasons we broke up was because I had lost so much confidence in the course of our relationship, and I kinda just relied on them for any validation for everything. I'm pretty sure, despite what they've said, they are still in love with me. The deal they gave me was basically this. Assuming I fix all of my issues by the spring, they will reconsider me as a partner then. The thing is, they want me to move on from the relationship during this time. They want me to get over them in the time that I am fixing myself for them. They basically want me to move on, fix all of my issues for me, not them, and to just be okay with losing them to have a chance to get back together. So, here's my question. How do I learn to prioritize myself and to fix my issues and improve myself for them when the only reason I've ever done anything is for them, and the only reason I want to fix myself is for the chance to get them back? Also, does this sound like a pity thing? Are they just telling me to do this so I move on and then are actually not planning on ever getting back together and they're just saying this so I move on? I don't know, I feel like I'm going crazy. I need to fix it. There's still a chance. Please help.
Okay, so there's this old saying where a bird in a cage is a prisoner. If it was meant to be, you should be able to open a cage and let that bird fly away. Now, if that bird goes off and does its thing and then come back, then it was meant to be. The bird's going to stay. Men cannot make women stay, not legally. Therefore, women must choose to stay, which means that the women must go off and live life. And if they decide to bring their ass home, then they will always be here. Now, can he be encouraging you to move on? Because if you move on and get yourself into another relationship, then you might not want to get back into this relationship. Yeah. But what if you move on, stop thinking about this person, and chalk this up as a bad experience, get you some therapy because you really need some therapy, and then you recover from your past traumas, and then in the spring, which is like 6 months from now, you pass back by that same old fling and that person decides to give you another chance. Well, if you are no longer codependent towards them, I'm going to be honest with you, you're going to end up being codependent towards them a second time. But if you're no longer codependent towards them, you're likely to start the relationship off on a better foot. And that might be the alternative goal, is to get this relationship, give you some space, let you recover from your past traumas, and then allow you to build a healthier life so that when they come back, when they circle back, that you are not damaged goods. It's not a level of manipulation, but it is a double standard because they're telling you to fix yourself, give up on a relationship, move on, but fix yourself so that you might be able to come back. I think that person should have either been clear that it's over and you're never coming back, or make it clear that if you work on some of the issues that's holding you back in this relationship, then y'all can continue to move forward together. But if you cannot, then the other person will not give you another chance, allowing you to decide, are you going to fix your issues for the sake of the relationship? Technically, it's supposed to be for the sake of you, but humanity, we don't do anything for ourselves. We typically do it because somebody else is making us do it, or we want to impress somebody else because we did it. That's the reason why we do things. It's our self-esteem is supposed to be the esteem of ourselves, but our self-esteem is socially motivated. So what we think about ourselves is based off of peer review. So if nobody likes us, we don't like us. Weird. But self-esteem, you're supposed to like you even if nobody else around you likes you. So you got to fix yourself. Then you can give this relationship a second try. I recommend extensive therapy, 2 to 3 times a week. Work through all your traumas. Try to find your traumas. Just like the other guy asked, what's your beef? Because if you can't define it, you can't work on it. He's right. You don't know what's going on. How can you fix it? You're not going to say that you go. You're not going to go through the motions. You're going to fix a problem. So you should be able to identify what the problem is. That way you can know if you fix it or not. All right, let's try the next one.
My boyfriend and I are both 27, and he is convinced I hate him, and it's driving a wedge between us. I've been
Damn.
together with my boyfriend for 6 years. We plan on getting married and I love him dearly, but there is a glaring issue that's becoming harder and harder to live with and ignore. Almost daily my boyfriend asks me if I hate him. He occasionally just tells me he wishes I didn't hate him. He thinks I'm mad at him constantly, and almost no amount of reassurance I give him ever convinces him otherwise. I'm getting to the point where I don't even feel like resolving anything because it's such a common occurrence. Sometimes I just want to shut down and let him spiral on his own and not have an incredibly dramatic argument about how I don't hate him and everything he's made up about how I feel isn't real. He asks me how I feel and just doesn't believe me when I tell him I'm okay. He thinks that if I'm just okay, something is wrong even after I tell him nothing bad is happening, and I'm not unhappy. If anything is less than sunshine and rainbows, I'm having a terrible time. It doesn't help that we spend nearly every free moment together, so I don't have any space or alone time. He is a very touchy and clingy person by nature, and I'm a lot less clingy. Sometimes I feel like I have to put on a fake smile and pretend I'm elated all the time. Sometimes I just don't feel like jumping for joy, and it stresses him out. Anytime he's under even the smallest amount of stress or pressure, I feel like he constantly lashes out at me. Even small things like forgetting to do the dishes, or me not hearing him say, "See you after work," and responding appropriately quickly is grounds for him to say I'm treating him like an asshole, and that I'm mad at him, and that I hate him. All I ever do is love you and you hate me, is what he says. I don't know how much more I can take this. I don't want to cry over this anymore. I cope with stress and sadness a lot differently than him, and he seemingly can't comprehend it. When I'm upset, I just take an hour and feel bad and move on. When he's upset, it hangs over him like a miasma and ruins his entire day, no matter
Hmm.
how insignificant and trivial it is. Someone's driving too slow in front of us? He will be upset and irate the entire rest of the day. And then I have to choose all the right dialogue options so he doesn't lash out at me, and even then we usually end up in some kind of argument. Even when we aren't arguing over whether I hate him or not, he treats me and talks to me like I'm his child. His constant mothering and infantilization, while simultaneously expecting me to know everything, also driving me insane. He repeats things he's told me, and repeats them slowly, as if I'm having trouble comprehending him. He talks to me like I don't understand anything, and then will get mad at me when I ask him a question or ask him to clarify something. I'm a very literate person, and it frustrates me to no end to be talked to like this. I feel so stuck. I've been with him my entire adult life, and don't have that without him. I moved with him last year to a new state where I don't have any friends, so I can't just go stay with a friend. My family is going through a lot back home, so I can't just pack up and move back even for a break. Therapy isn't in the cards because we're financially unstable, and he thinks therapy is a waste of time. He went to therapy after a depressive episode in college and didn't like it. I feel like we're never going to get better, and we're just going to get worse, but I love him so much. I don't want to break up with him, but I feel like it's only a matter of time before I just blow up and start sleeping on the couch. I don't want it to be the case, but living like this has started to make me resent him. I wish things could just be normal for a day or two. I wish I could just lay in bed for one day without being constantly badgered by a man who thinks I'm mean to him and also a child. Does anyone have experience with this sort of thing? And if so, how did the two of you move forward?
Okay. I was waiting on Michael to say something this whole time. I tell you right now what the problem is. You pissed off and you can't hide it. You are resenting your situation and you can't hide it. You don't know nobody, you can't go nowhere to vent and let you blow off the steam, and you can't hide it. You ain't got nothing else going on with your day, so that you can't dip out the house and go get involved in another activity, work or whatever, so that you can relieve your anger and frustration somewhere else. So when the whole time he's at the house, you're quote unquote okay, but you have this stagnant level of bitterness because there are certain pet peeves that are pissing you off that you don't talk about. He can tell that your nice behavior that you used to have at the beginning of the relationship doesn't exist anymore, which means that you're thoroughly pissed off. And it is a common understanding amongst all men that when a woman says that she's fine, she is lying. When a woman says that everything is okay, she is lying, because women are not okay and distant. They're not okay and non responsive. They're not okay and non communicative. They're not okay and looking for an hour's quiet space. They're not okay and they're not affectionate. So when you go from being affectionate to not affectionate, you might have an issue. Now, you got some things going on in your personal life, stuff's going on with your family back home, you're struggling with school, all this other stuff. Both of y'all need some damn therapy. However, you said it's y'all got a financial issue that's straining y'all. Guess what's got him pissed off all the damn time? Y'all broke. How do you help him be less stressed out? Take your ass to work. You are telling yourself what the problems are in your relationship. The shit that he bitching about is not the problem. The shit he's doing a feminine approach. The shit that he's bitching about is the fact that he's under a lot of stress, probably because he's carrying most of the bills. He's stressed out and he's trying not to take it out on you, but the slightest ridiculousness, cut off in traffic, somebody takes his parking space, somebody took the last Cheerio out the Cheerio box, and he pissed off because there ain't enough money to go around. People take brokenness differently. But you, on the other hand, you're not doing much better because you're not validating him for his efforts. You're not showing him any appreciation for his efforts. You're not giving him an opportunity to stop and take a few days off in a row. So he's burnt out. You're burnt out too, but he's burnt out. And since you're the one that's asking how do you fix it, I'm going to tell you the first way to fix it is to prioritize him for a little while out of the day before he prioritizes you. Let him recover from work before he starts catering to your every need. But if y'all are taking good care of each other at the house, y'all no longer have that resentment. That's how you fix that problem. All right, let's go ahead and touch base with the next one.
My kid's babysitter asked me out. I am 47, and she is
Good.
27. I'm a relatively new, about a year and a half, single dad of grade school-age children. I have a regular babysitter for them, who takes care of them quite often. There's no regular schedule, so I wouldn't consider her their nanny, but she's around at least once or twice a week. She's previously stayed over at my place when I was traveling for work. I've had a couple women in my life tell me she's flirting with or hitting on me. I, of course, didn't believe them and said no. She just really likes the kids. She's been working for me for a bit more than 6 months. Well, tonight, she proposed we get dinner on an upcoming weekend when the kids will be with their mom. She wants to take me to a restaurant she has a connection to in nearby major city and show me around her old neighborhood. Am I interpreting correctly? That sounds very date-like? This
Yep.
seems like a bad idea, but I can't quite say why, other than potentially losing a steady sitter. What's the
Yep.
worst that could happen?
Well, the worst that could happen is that you lose a steady sitter. The best that could happen is that they call her mommy. Anything that happens in between that, that's up to you. Now, the other problem is that if you're trying to date her, she is your babysitter. So you would have to find a new babysitter so that you could take her out unless you're taking her places with the kids. You could use the wife as the babysitter, but the wife is going to be bitter when you're dating the babysitter. Even though she's not the wife anymore, y'all are separated. She's going to be bitter that you're dating the babysitter. So this is a catch 22 for you. Now, the most effective way for you to work through this situation is to platonically go with her and enjoy whatever offer that she's got to offer and see where her mind is at. You cannot control where love comes from. But since she has been your employee for the last 6 months, you can take this relationship slower because she ain't going nowhere. And if you aren't looking anywhere else, she doesn't have any competition. You can prioritize her slowly, which would allow her to transition from being an employee to being a potential mate. There's no problem in that. But because you're rebounding off of your wife, she used to be an employee, this could turn into something serious. You want to move slower with this type of engagement than what you would move with a person you met at the bar. Now, the kids already approve of her. This woman would be easier to date than a stranger. You trust her with your children. That's a huge step. So to me, that would be the perfect candidate. She already knows that you've got uh child parenting schedules between him and I mean you and the wife or whatever. So parenting plans, you know that that's in the way, and she's willing to help you with that. Since she knows you've got kids, she's willing to help you with that. The needs that you have that would be satisfied by your relationship, she would be able to satisfy them. To me, she would be the first candidate to start with. You're a year and a half outside of your marriage, but because you're a year and a half outside of your marriage, I would let this slowly develop over the next 3 years. Then, when you're 5 years detached from your wife, that's when you go ahead and introduce your babysitter as the new girlfriend. But until then, no. Either way, it's up to you. Me, I'd see where it goes. Since you can have her as a platonic friend and get to know her better longer, I think that's the best way to go, especially since she's taking you places. That's even better because you don't have to pay for her to watch your kids and then pay for her to go places with you. See where it goes. Now, we didn't have a lot of questions and comments today, but we did cover a good hour. So I wanted to thank you guys for coming to this and that. First of all, I'm going to say, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you, ladies, to make it make sense. So, ladies, please make it make sense. Uh, Again, I want you guys to make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button. Fellas, I gave you this information to help you guys become higher value men. But ladies, the information is not exclusive to the men. Y'all can utilize this information to make yourselves higher value women. All it takes is for you to proactively figure out what it is that you're trying to change in your life to make your lives better and then make those changes. And if you're finding a partner that has the same mentality and the same interests as you do, they don't have to be the complete exact copy of you, but some of the things that you like, they like too. You might be able to find a partner that has good financial sets, good investment strategies, and utilize that person to aid you in being more successful. If you guys are working together, you guys are building a trust together. You guys are not just building a trust together, you're building a temple where all of your effort can generate extra wealth. But it requires cooperation and compromise. So, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for coming to this and that. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Higher ground. Used to chase validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt upon the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher, constantly making my own climb. Standing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. I'm not landing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground.